Great to see you. Let's begin. So connect to our Ujjayi breath. In this initial setup, I'm going to include some foot points as we're connecting to our sit bones. So large picture, we usually start off connecting and feeling or activating, really, the bottom of our pelvis and the top of our head. So we have to remember our body behaves a lot like a battery. There's semi-conductor properties, there's ways of holding and transmitting charge. It's really an exquisite bioelectrical design. So we're going to add in this other point. Make one of the soles of your feet available, and we're going to massage or touch or probe what they usually call like a kidney point. And so I'm getting right in between the two ball mounts, the big ball mount and the neighboring one. And you'll feel there's just a nice little bloop. Go right in there. As I'm just going to give it a little bit of pressure as I connect to breath, relaxing the jaw, and feel the sit bones reaching down. It's a little bit crude to just say there's circuits in the body, but really when we start to look deeply in and regard the Eastern traditions, the yogic traditions, that's really and precisely a lot of what we see, just different magnitudes than we're accustomed to having come out of our grid, our power grid. But all these principles apply. And so just by massaging and bringing our attention into some of these potent places of the body, it can start to become active, like bioactive. Actually can see some more juice, aliveness occurring in these parts of the body. It's kind of neat. So let's switch, have access to the other sole of your foot. And again, the point I'm going into is kind of at the ball mount, the big ball mount of the foot. And I'm just getting a shade more precise, and I'm feeling almost like right between the ball mounts, right between the foot bones. I guess these are called metatarsals. So massage or touch or probe or press, connect to breath. Breath is really the important thing. If we want to kind of inhabit this electrical, voltage-laden self and apply this voltage to building and healing and redesign, we need to breathe. Right? So just make sure you don't go off into like a dazed. Make sure you're breathing while you're activating these points. So you got the foot point. Now feel the sit bones. Feel the skull bones. Okay. And so now let's relax the foot points. And let's just feel in the arrangement of skull bones over sit bones. And in these I'm calling it an activation moment, but as we're connecting and feeling this topmost and bottommost part of our core, we're encompassing and we're feeling into these, it's like a main power circuit, like a main channel of subtle energy. Okay, you don't have to believe me. Just if you bring your feeling and focused awareness toward the center, will net some benefit. Right? Kind of feeling the center of the skull area, the center of the neck, the center between the shoulders, center of the diaphragm, the center of our guts, the center of our hips, the center of our pelvis. And to just continue the electrical analogy a tiny bit, if we had opened up a circuit board and had the intention of making some design improvement, of bringing something of value into the design, right? We'd start to consider, what do I need to resolder? What needs arrangement? Where do I feel I need to work? So, I'll ask us, for each of our individual bodies, we're entering into this sacred container. What is this best design we hope to bring up and through our circuitry, our system, our structure? And so this is where your intention starts to connect to, how do I want to feel in my body? Is there a change, a behavioral change I want to notice or address? Do I want to add something? Do I want to subtract something? Do I want to notice something, highlight, magnify something? Maybe you want to magnify that sense of love and coherence. Maybe you want to eliminate a certain behavior, maybe a self-critical behavior. Maybe you want to bring in a high quality of breath into this system, this design, our human self. This is ours for the making. How cool. Okay. And so we'll begin with some rounds of Kapalabhati. Kapalabhati, short, sharp exhalations. Feel for the exhalation kind of whizzing by the tip of your nose. And feel that engine pump below the navel. Let's do about 50 pumps Kapalabhati. And then we'll pause and we'll regroup. So let's begin that. And when you resume your ujjayi breath, breathing through the tip, middle, and base of your nostrils, feel that breath as current, inhabiting the top of your core, the head, the heart, the base of your spine. You're threading your breath through these discrete locations of your body. So you've got those locations. You can feel your breath reaching there specifically or generally. Let's do one more round of Kapalabhati. We'll add one piece to that. So 50 pumps Kapalabhati, and we'll regroup. Begin. When you resume your Ujjayi breath, threading it through these discrete locations of top of skull, center of heart, base of spine, recall or reanimate that feeling tone, that energetic tone, that flavor that you most seek to bring into this design. Every choice designs. Every intention becomes a part of this design. Every thought, every feeling, every reaction is implicated in this exquisite design. Twisting shoelace toward the thigh. Right? So I'm going to change the cross of legs. I start right over left. And because we're twisting toward the thigh, it means right hand on the ground and left arm. I'm going to connect to my right thigh. So I'm leaning or shifted off to my right. Feet are active. Connecting breath in and in to that left side waist. Reaching down for the sit bone, feeling the sit bone reach for the earth. So not only are we self-authoring creatures or have self-authoring potential, we can interpret our experience in many different ways. Not only do we have self-organizing potential, the ability to promote healing and structuring in more robust and resilient ways, We have self-transforming capacities. That every choice, thought, intention could quite possibly change the very structure, flavor of my being. Inhaling, come upright. Okay. Take both of your hands to the ground beside your hips. And I'm just using my fingertips, so I'm tenting my hands and fingers. I'm just going to do a vertical press. So as I inhale, I press the fingertips down, lifting the chest bones up. And the purpose of this here is just so I can feel the two sides of my waist and the two sides of my ribs. I'm going to reach with my breath down the left side of my flank, the right side of my flank. And I'll release that. Switch the cross of your shoelace. There's a couple of us on and off that work with some sacral or hip things. Sometimes when I come out of those really strong rotational moves, sometimes I do just kind of take my thigh and my leg and my tissues through a just a little full range move. Just it's a little different than shaking it out. I just kind of roll, and like right now, I just get a little adjustment in my bones. All right, we've got left over right, and we're twisting to the thigh side. So inhale, stretch, reach that right arm over to the left side, making some contact, arm to thigh. So maybe, just maybe, the way we're breathing into our body, viewing and inhabiting our body, can in and of itself impart transformative influence. So how is it that I'm listening and feeling and breathing into pelvis, into sides? Is it possible that the way I inhabit, the way I listen, the way I'm interested, the way I kind of wait with and be in these discrete experiences is influencing my experience moment to moment? Is it possible that just my being here, right here in my body, right here in my right side, right here in my hips in this twist, kind of melting open some new possibilities. I think the main difference between goal setting and intention setting, and let's inhale, pressing up and out. I do press just so I'm not working those side and back muscles that we're just stretching. Fingertips to the ground. I think goal setting funnels us, narrows our attention to a point. And take 2 deep breaths, pressing the fingertips down, lifting the chest. So I'm breathing into the sides of my ribs, the sides of my waist. And intention setting can open us up to more possibilities, more potential. So it's a little bit more like looking into the Milky Way galaxy. There's just more and more and more and more. All right. Let's help ourselves out of this shoelace configuration. And again, if you need to just give your thigh bones a little rotisserie move, that's all I'm just manually kind of rolling them around. And that's plenty. Let's lie on our back. And the version of elbow to knee we'll do today is where we're turning on the inner leg. We'll be working that figure 4 shape, and I'll talk us into the whole thing. So let's begin hands behind head, feet off ground. Inhale the head and the shoulders off the ground. This anchors the lower part of the back to the ground. Just the act of lifting kind of tacks our low back down. Now you can add additional abdominal pressure, tacking that low back down even more. Exhale the left leg out. Right hand, scoop up right foot, press it into the thigh. Thigh press into the hand, or foot rather. Pull low belly down. Inhale, let that up, knees over hips. We'll return to our central start spot. Abdominal pressure may shift the tailbone a little. Exhale, right leg reaches, left foot. Catch it with your left hand, plant it in your right thigh. Press plus reach. Pull low belly down. And just let it go at the base of the neck, whomever that was. Might be you, Tara. Inhale, bend right knees, or right knee. Curl tailbone, exhale, left leg reaches out, right foot helped to left thigh. Press. Now reach to that kidney point, that place you were massaging on the left sole of your foot. Reach all the way to that spot. Pull low belly down. There you go. Inhale, let that up. Knees over hips. Curling the tailbone. Exhale, reach to the right leg. Use your left hand, help the left foot. Plant, press, reach through the right leg, ball of foot. Find that ball of foot point you had massaged. Because as we go there, we tend to activate that. Meaning we can feel it, we can feel what's in there. All right, inhale, let that up. Let's do 2 more on each side. Let's do those on our own. Not only are we electrical creatures, we're electrostatic creatures. So we can sequester charge. And I think we've all had the experience of letting kind of like static or electrical or intensity charge remain in our body. I think we've all had the experience. And it probably goes something like this. We can feel really mentally clustered, almost mentally stammering, kind of lost in a lot of tangle of speech, thought. And we go out into nature, and we're feeling really clear-headed again. And that's one of the beautiful things about making sure we get in the sun and the ocean and the mountains, is it helps to disperse that static, that charge, that buildup. All right. More inner legs for us. Grab your roll. Place it between thighs and reach legs up. Interlace hands behind head, and here we go. So we'll be aiming for those kidney points simultaneously. Now, you're also feeling the space of your foot. And so one of the potent aspects about this point that we started massaging is it's one of those places in the body that helps us discharge static, right? So it's one of the whys. Why do we always reach to that point? It's just to help us get really clear in our work. Inhale into low back. Good, spreading all across that sacrum. Hold that breath for a moment. Squeeze the roll with your legs. So you can feel that little charge building up. Find the soles of your feet, the ball mounts. Now exhaling, curling tailbone, float the head and the shoulder blades off the ground, and maintain feeling connection through the soles of your feet as best as you can. Pull low belly down. Good. Inhaling, let up on the squeeze, set the head down. Holding the breath, squeeze the roll. Curl tailbone, and now exhale. As you float the head and the shoulders off the ground, reach, feel, meaning really stretch your awareness, your attention into the sole of the foot, into that point you massaged, and then a half inch, a quarter inch beyond the skin of your foot. Pull low belly down. Good. Inhaling, set the head down. Do a few more. Squeeze the roll. Hold that squeeze. You're a battery. You're working with this charge. Curl tailbone. Exhale the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. Reach, feel into the ball of the foot, the space of the foot, the ball of the foot, the skin of the foot, a quarter inch beyond the skin of the foot, and go ahead and reach out for a half inch beyond the skin of the foot. Pull low belly down. Good. Inhale, set the head down. As we start to reach attentionally a little beyond the skin of the foot, you may feel some current, some motion, internal motion elsewhere in the leg or the hip. Let's take another deep breath into the low back, into wherever you're feeling those motions, hip, leg muscles. Hold that breath, squeeze the roll, hold that charge, you're a battery. Curl tailbone, exhale, float the head, the shoulder blades off the ground. Now go into the space of the foot, the skin of the foot. Go a quarter inch, half inch beyond the skin of the foot. And actually feel the air molecules, feel the breeze, the air, an inch beyond the skin of your foot. Pull low belly down. Good. Inhale, set the head down. Last one on our own. One more. Go right into it. And when you're through, of course, release. So, Is all of this talk of static and electricity hocus pocus? Maybe, but an experiment you can do is the next time you're feeling a little brain clustery, mental cluster, you can try doing a round of abs with a roll. Feel into the foot, feel in and past the foot. And after about 5 or 6 or 10 of those, stand up. And then if you feel more clear-headed, then that's your experiment. All right. Let's set up for bridge. Brett, is bridge all right on your neck? Are you good with this? Okay, cool. I'm also placing my block next to me. In the event I want some support. Feet set up in parallel, feet active. Because one other thing, I spread my foot and my foot bones, I can feel between those innermost sets of bones. Inhaling into the low belly, low back. And exhaling, shift the tailbone toward the sky. The buttock lifts, the spine lifts. And at any time you desire, employ the block under your sacrum. It's optional. It's a very nice option. So as I work my butt muscles and shift the tailbone, kind of bidirectional, it's like away from my head and away from the ground in this position. And connect to your deep Ujjayi breath. Connect your deep Ujjayi breath in and through your core. We've got that tailbone point well located. And can you thread your breath right through the guts, the diaphragm, the heart, and even through the neck and into the head? Get all of those locations breath fed, breath nourished. Do one more move. It's an internal move. Remember your intention. It's possible that the intention that you chose is actually part of opening up a world of possibilities. You're going to keep threading that intent through your core as we raise one leg at a time into the air. So I'm starting with my left foot. Right foot grounded, left foot I pick up and reach towards sky. Every time we're kind of stretching, pressing, activating muscles, compressing, we're literally moving the charge, like the electrical charge components in our body. And if we can work our breath, our feeling awareness in and with that stuff, that's potent. We can do some potent work. So part of getting a little more activation or a little bit more battery juice, I'm spreading my foot bones. I'm engaging my left quad. I'm pressing and reaching. So I'm going strong and long. It's not efficient, but I get to work with a lot of electrical charge. Now I'm speaking electrically because that's what we can measure. Pronically, we can say a lot of the same, but we have a harder time measuring prana. So I'm going to just stick to the denser stuff. All right, inhale, set that left foot down to the ground. We're still in bridge. Now, when you put that left foot down, feel how the left foot contacts the ground compared to the right foot. You feel that contact. You can feel some people feel charge as warmth, as heat, as a higher fidelity feeling sense. Okay. Now let's do the other side. The left foot well planted. Inhale, draw the right foot up and reach it skyward. So you want to practice being an energetically potent human capacitor. Engage those leg muscles, right? Engage them. Lift the leg, go long, spread the bones, deepen the breath. Inhaling, let's set that right foot down to the ground. Now press away from the block and begin your descent, your patient descent out of bridge. When we turn over onto a side and press up, and get that charge moving the other way, which is up in shoulder territory. Let us set up for dolphin. I'm just going to put this out there. I've been tinkering around with these little wedges of sorts. And if you're in the area, in the Chicago area, and you just want a pair, I'll drop some off to you. Just let me know if you want them. It may take me a week or two to get them to you, but they're just little extras. They're fun, and they make for some new and different sensations. I use them when I'm doing wrist work, footwork, ankle work. Okay, oops, yeah, I'm going to use them here. But just email me, and I'll just bring them over to you. They're fun. All right, let's set up dolphin. Elbows under shoulders, forearms out in front. Inhale into the upper back. And exhale, press your knees off the ground. So connecting to that deep Ujjayi breath. So one of the ways we can become more, have greater conductance, I think is the word, is the act of softening. Okay. Now again, I'm using electrical terminology because there's a truth to that. We're physical electrical beings. But when we're talking life force, prana, the sacred breath of life, that's a multi-dimensional thing. We're talking about intergenerational history and feeling and emotion and electricity and all sorts of stuff. But let's just talk electrical charge for a moment. If I want to become a conductor, I soften. If I want to feel the movement of life in my body, I feel for softening and releasing. So at the base of your neck, can you feel one spine bone dripping away from its neighboring spine bone? Without any force, without any effort, it's that gesture of release, right in between the neck bones. That's it, Brett, that's it. That's it. There you go. Good, good. And making sure we can feel, acknowledge, is there a little bit more motion, that life motion through that part of the body? Okay, so now we have a little puzzle here. Can I increase my charge and maintain my conductance? So I'm going to increase my charge by raising the right foot off the ground. And I'm going to reach and stretch that leg away from my pelvis. And maintaining that soft, fluidic core. From the ball of my right foot, through the space of my foot, through the space and the volume of my leg, through hip into core. Feeling the neck still letting go, feeling the brain. All right, let's set that right foot down. If you can maintain dolphin, just stay in, and we'll switch sides. If it's a little too intense, you can always rest the knees down and come right back up. All right, left foot, here we go. Raise and reach out through that left leg. You know, a lot of great design is giving the charge a place to go. And we'll bring that left foot down. Gently place the knees down. Rest. Cool. Let's use a wall for chest opener on the wall. Please recall, I'm taking a warrior stance with my hand on the wall. So, the forward foot is the wall nearest foot. Give yourself about 18 inches of space, 25 centimeters. Now inhaling, you feel the lift of breath under the right side chest wall. And if it's true that this person has self-transforming potential, maybe the simple act of me breathing and inhabiting this right side chest is sufficient. Maybe. You try it out. This is a departure from working actively with our energy. It's a departure from getting energy to do our bidding. And it's more of witnessing and trusting that deep and profound witnessing, feeling presence is in and of itself creating something imminent, potent, and release. So I can start to open up around that ear space, for sure. In fact, as we're changing sides, as you're setting up to do the other side, try this out. It's just a little shift in how we listen. Go from listening to the content of sound to listening to the space around your ear that you had just addressed. So if you addressed your right side, just listen to that space around that side of your head. All right, let's do the other side. Part of that electrical nature of our being can be observed in a field around our body. I think it's best to call it a biofield. That's how I'm calling it. And it really is I've come to understand it as a standing wave containing all of our history. Right. So the same way we can cut into a tree and see the various rings and ripples from center to periphery, there's ways to feel and sense these standing waves or rings, if you will, from our core many, many, many feet out. And so when we do things like feeling around this side of our body that we're addressing, this chest opener, if you feel that air is different, lighter, hotter, feels like it's moving more, less dense, you might be experiencing a little shift in that standing wave, a temporary kind of malleability in that information around our body. All right, so when we release that side, gonna face you. There's a couple, there's lots of ways we can listen. We can listen to the content. Okay? We can listen to the area. We can listen to the room, the space, through that side of our body. And you'll start to feel how that air, how that space feels around that side of your body. Now separate legs for flank stretch. So I've got mine about 3 or 4 feet apart. My feet are active, toes pointing straight ahead. And let's start by left hand grasping right ankle. So I fold and then reach across. Right hand may cap the left hand into place. And so, yes, you can breathe into that left side of your physical body, the ribs and the rib muscles and kidney down there. Get into that kidney, the adrenals. And just as a little experiment, you can just play around with feeling the air, the space beside your left flank. It's actually extending your listening presence into that field, into that extra bodily space. It's still our body. It's just how the courts see it and how the mystics see it is be a little different. Let's release with change sides. So, right hand can cap the left ankle. And creating a little bias or arc through the right side. Let's connect to breath. So conducting this energy is assisted by releasing, softening. Working with more charge in the body can be facilitated by engaging. Even kind of leaning into some of those pressures and stretches and contractions. And when we release, walk hands centrally, and we'll change the configuration of our legs. Warrior one. Let's set the right foot to point forward, or rather turn the right foot about 90 degrees. Okay. I'm going to push that left heel back a little more so I'm in a warrior stance. Okay. I'm just keeping my trunk low. We're going to go directly into an ostrich from here. So I interlace hands behind back. Inhale. Now, if you need a little reprieve from hanging your head down, what you can do is just prop your ribs momentarily atop your right thigh. Okay, the alternate is hanging your torso down. So if you feel there's a little too much blood pressure or something in your head, you can just bring your torso up onto your thigh. And inhaling, take the hands down to the sacrum, and let's set the left knee down. Okay. And work a slightly different move with us today. Okay. So once you're in a half kneeling or a very backed up lunge, and take our left hand behind the back. We usually do this for what we call like Lance Dodger or such. I'm putting my back of hand all the way by the right hip. Right? If I just go centrally, this upper trapezius won't really get that lengthened out. So by wrapping my hand all the way back there by my hip, I already start to feel this upper trapezius getting a tad bit of stretch. Now, just use your right hand on your leg for balance and tip your head to the right. You might want to keep your eyes open for this. Now, if you deliver pressure down, left hand to top hip bone, and gradually start to feel that upper trapezius kind of reworking, remodifying. So I'm going to take a few deep breaths directly into that left trapezius. Reach down through the left elbow, press down through the back of that left hand. And this can be a really, you can press down strongly. There we go. And now let's take one more deep breath so we're getting way up under those rib structures and collarbone. Now, we're going to help the head up. So let the left hand go. Take the right hand to the right side of your head and move the head back up centrally. Cool. Now let's move into lunge. So now we'll shift our weight forward. Inhale the arms up. So, a few poses ago, I was saying we can kind of feel the air, the space. We can feel our field around our head, our neck, our shoulders. It might be more evident for you here. You might be able to feel the difference around the left side of the neck compared to the right side of the neck. And really sort of stepping back for turbo dog. And you can do this from half kneel or kneeling. And you can just do the unlocking the shoulders, Susan. That'll work also. So inhale the hands to ground. Exhaling, step right foot back. So we're in downward dog and we're moving it into turbo dog. Just so you can feel how the shoulder structure starts to adapt to each one of these moves or requests. I shift the elbows toward the earth. Feeling both sets of trapezius Both shoulder joints. You might feel like you can reach one elbow downward more easily. All right, ostrich. Inhale, step your left foot forward. Basic warrior stance. Interlace hands. And allow our torso to hang beside the thigh. Now, because our body does behave like semi-conducting material, heat really does make a difference. You know, just like we're resoldering a joint, applying that heat makes it momentarily malleable. Okay? If you're in a situation where you can employ heat, like environmental heat, sun, you get a window spot. Okay? And if you're in a chilly mountain or winter area, you got to rely on your breath, that ujjayi breath. When we work that breath deliberately is part of a heating mechanism. The more you can contract and engage your muscles, you'll net a lot of heat there too. All right, inhale. Let's bring the knuckles down toward the sacrum. And let's set our right knee down. I choose padding. And this time the right hand, turn a little bit, I'm feeding behind my pelvis, and I'm letting my right hand knuckles wrap around my left hip. So I'm really sending it over. Okay. Now, as I press down, so the point of that downward press, one of the points, is it helps lengthen this upper trapezius. Right up here, the neck and head. And when you feel steady, you may tip your head to the left. Using your focused feeling awareness, breathe into that right upper trapezius. Reach down through the right elbow, press down through the right hand bones. And when we release, let the hand go. Use the left hand to assist the head back upright. And just get steady there. Sometimes that's a wobbly moment. Inhale, draw the arms up, moving into lunge. So I'm shifting my hips forward a smidge. Use your deep ujjayi breath to get warm, to stay warm. And inhale, bring the hands down to the ground, and we'll exhale into downward dog. Turbo dog is optional. It's a sweet option. There you go. That's it, Susan. All right. So we're going to move or jump into crow pose. Now, so if you're jumping right in, please help yourself. I'll do the little talk through. So if you're being very mindful of the amount of pressure you place in your wrists today, we can just get the position. So if you like, Susan, if you have like 2 blocks, you can get up on perch and just work. You can have hands entirely free of ground and just flex and reach. You don't even have to, if you can see this, you don't even have to touch the ground. Just work your flexion. Cool. All right. If you are putting pressure on hands, put the shin up by the armpit. Gradually shift weight in and pick 1 foot up at a time. If you're 2 feet lift away from props, then press those inner arches together. And as you press the inner arches together, tweeze the elbows and the chest muscles on. Push the ground away. Yeah. So you might be able to do this, David, where you can actually push your sternum about a 1/2 inch away from the ground. It's going to be a lot of chest push. That's it, Andrew. That's it. Oh, sweet. Give it just another 1/2 moment. That's it. And push, David, like you're almost going to straighten your elbows. That's it, that's it, that's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. Great. And then we'll step our feet back. Step them down, step them back. Downward dog. Brain cradling. Inhale, step your right foot forward, warrior 1. So a couple repeat moves. So again, let me change that. I'm going to take both of my hands to the back of my skull. Okay. You can cup or interlace. I like cup for this one. Bring the elbows and the arms right up next to your ears and temple. And reach up through the armpits and the elbows, inhaling. So one of the hopes is we started to free up some of that structuring around the trapezius, the shoulders. And now, can we get that energy moving? Can we experience the openness and so the conductance? So if I reach up through my elbows, I reach up through my shoulders, can I feel spaciousness, opening, release, softness? So I'm not hardening. This is not a hardening, compressive move. It's an energetic, opening, softening move from heart to head. Release. Just by helping head back over heart. Cool. Eagle. And get clearer brains together. Exhale, let's hook our left elbow over our right elbow. Eagle and warrior 1. So places I can often soften and have greater conductance through: the jaw, the eyes, the temple. I notice if I use my eyes in a hard manner, the temple area muscles can feel squeezy. The tongue, the lips. And when we release the arms, inhaling, unwind, I'll place the left knee down. I like padding. 4, archer in lunge. I'm going to use a strap, so my right hand lowers it to my left. My right elbow points up, my left elbow points down. So with this archer, again, rather than rigidifying and trying to net a lot of squeeze from the shoulder muscles, let's find out if we can soften through the shoulder, the heart, the jaw, the brain. If you want to really juice up the pose, push down through those very strong leg muscles. Your batteries, your really big batteries. And release. Twisting pigeon toward the foot. So, walk that right foot to the left side of mat. Lie shin down. And we can get a hold of the foot with our hands. Some of you may get your arm into the foot. And there is some in-between moves. So if you want some more variations for this, just wave at me, because I've got a few other ways we can address this for the mid-back. And releasing. Let's inhale, unwind. And we have about 1, 2, 3, 4 poses on the other side. We'll set the hands under shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. All right, so brain cradling. Inhale, left foot forward. Whoop. We're taking both hands to the base of the skull, the backside. Okay? Like a little nest for my brain stem. Okay? And then you have to reach. There's that kind of uplift of the arm bones. When I lift my arm bones up, I can help kind of articulate these highest up ribs. So practice breathing into those upper lobes of lung. Our most loving, witnessing, feeling awareness into those upper lobes of lungs, even if it feels a little rattly or shaky. Remember, yes, this is a personal, individual body, and there's a collective body here. And when we release, our eagle will be right elbow over left. Still in Warrior One. Now it's really easy psychologically to just collapse again in all of those neck and back and chest bones. Conduct. Find that verticality, that spaciousness. Breathe. Relift. Uplift. Feeling those chest bones and upper back bones. Kind of that telescopic, that periscopic neck lengthening that brightens and lightens the head. Release for archer and lunge. We'll place the right knee down. I'll suggest padding. If you are working with strap today, it's left hand, lowering the strap to right, or left elbow up, right elbow down. Good. And then once you get that grip, Andrew, just realign the neck over the rest of your spine and keep feeling that periscopic action, like the neck lifting away from the upper back bones. There you go. And I wonder how that might feel for you, breathing into those tippy top sternal rib joints. There you go. And the analog on the back is those tippy top rib spine joints. There you go. Have those tippy top rib spine joints can have a lot of salubrious effect from that brain fluid. There you go. Yep, keep lift. It's a gentle lift. It's a lift up through that left. That's it, Nancy, that's it. That's it. Yes. And that arm will help lift and feel those little conducting spaces, right? Space makes capacitors. Capacitors hold charge. This is just one, the human form is just another iteration of that. Where we find space, we can often find ways to hold and move more charge. There you go. There you go. That's it, Brett. That's it. That's it. That's it. Sweet. We got a pigeon in our life, so let's release the archer. You can feel that. And we'll set that left thigh, left shin down. Last side, last one. And when you release, we can simply sit back on our left hip and help up to a seated position. There's just one really easy thing for the hand and the neck. Okay, so I'm going to reach my left hand out as I tip my head to my right. So it is another neck release. This time, if you like, if you prefer, you can use the weight of your right arm atop your left temple. Okay. Now, if I reach my hand a little bit forward, I experience that stretch in a different part of my shoulder blade and trap. If I reach my left hand off to the side, still another place in the neck, jaw, trap. So experiment. And I guess I should just mention, since we're talking variations, if you turn the thumb down, another part of the shoulder yet. Actually feels really good. And I'm going to lift that right arm up. Roll the chin centrally. Just let the head kind of central droop. And we can pick it up to address the other side. So right hand out, reach. Again, if I reach forward, it's a different part of my shoulder blade. If I go thumb down and palm back, okay, so you can left arm weight optional atop. There you go. Ooh. Brett, you can use those triceps to strongly straighten the elbow. It's a really, and use those And release. We let the head roll centrally. Help the head up. And please, let's take Shavasana. So we can wrap up this exquisitely open, luminous package. So when we begin our practice, right, I was mentioning we tend to activate through the top of our core, the base of our core. Whether you knew we were doing that or not, but just getting our feeling attention kind of into those nodes, those areas, helps a process. Kind of so with that circuit, if you will, kind of open to influence, open to intentional, influential work. Maybe we just take a moment and feeling with our breath where in our body, what in our body is conducting, is different, is open, is alive. And as we introduce just a little motor movement, like moving the fingers, the toes, or bending the knees, let that help bring our feeling awareness into our physical body, our skin. Yeah. Helps us bring us back into a discrete location in this room. With knees bent, we can turn over to a side. And that multi-dimensional world does not go away, but we just get to package ourselves for the world we're quite accustomed to living in. I love you. Namaste.